So today, in celebration of 420 Day, I'm going to show you guys a trick that really has nothing to do with 420 at all. As a matter of fact, you should not do drugs. You should stay away from drugs. They make you weak, and they make the government a little bit more likely to be able to control you. So, anyways, I'm going to show you guys this crazy card trick you can do anytime, anywhere, assuming that you did have the proper precautions. That you took the proper precautions with the cards here. So you have a deck ostensibly shuffled by yourself, and you make the claim that you're gonna need a prediction card here. So you have the spectators call stop anytime they want, and that card right there, you show that they could have picked any one of these cards. They really could have picked any sort of random card here, but this is the card they're having to stop that, which we'll leave to the side here. I'll leave it just right there, nice and safe. So you have them say stop again. This time, they say stop over here because they have free will and judgment, apparently, in our country. So you show them, oh, look, you could have stopped on any one of these cards. You could have stopped on an 8, but you stopped on these particular cards. Is there any reason why today, sir, you decided to stop on those particular cards? No? None whatsoever? Well, you did a really good job because you stopped on an ace here, another ace, and another ace. You stopped on all the aces, sir, which is very commendable on your part, but that's not the impressive part, because the impressive part is that you stopped me on a prediction card earlier, and these were the aces, which means that this card is the other. Fuck, to reshoot this. No, it's okay. It's okay. I could solve this because believe it or not, all I have to do is just change this king magically. If I just give it a little bit of a PG rub here, you see what happens? It actually changes into the Ace of Hearts, which leads to a very, very conclusive finish to this amazing card trick. Now that the Ace happens to match the other aces, God, hate it when it happens. God damn it! It's okay. It's okay. Just there you go. Now it's there. Now it's a conclusive card magic. So that's a trick. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's a very perplexing card trick because that's the name from. It comes from a Simon Lovell trick. He's not dead, but he's one of those OG guys that is underappreciated in the card magic realm. So props go to you, Simon. So here we go. What you need is a little bit of a preparation. You need the kings on top of the deck. You take a card that doesn't matter and you put it on top of the kings. Then you get the aces and put that on top face down. You see that? That's your setup. So you got the 4 aces set up, a random card that doesn't matter. This is the vagrant immigrant child of the deck. You put it on top of the kings face up, and you're ready. That goes into the steam box, steampunk bicycle cards made by our friends at Theory 11, the proprietors of fancy designs on the back of cards that really don't matter, but then you're ready. So you take out the cards, you take them out of the box. That box gets put aside, and then you could give the deck a little bit of a false shuffle, as they like to call it in the business, keeping of course your stack ready on top. And it goes without saying that the false shuffle should hide these cards. You don't want to show that. So you riffle down the side of the deck, making sure not to start from the top, because then they'll be like, hey, there are face-up cards on top, Mr. Magic. What's that? And then you tell them it's my setup. And they spit on you. So you have them call stop anywhere around the middle of the deck. You start riffling from the middle. They call stop right there. So you turn these cards over and say, look, you could have stopped on any one of these cards. What I'm doing now is I'm spreading to the first face-down card that I see. Now, because of the setup, that card is going to be a king. So this king gets placed as a prediction card to the side, hopefully on a non-lubricated surface, if preferable. Now these cards get placed on the bottom of the deck, and you repeat again the same procedure. So you riffle from the middle of the deck as to not show your setup. They say stop. You do the same. You turn over this and you say, look, you could have stopped on any one of these cards. You could have stopped on a 9, on a 5. These are all options that you could have, but you stopped right here on these particular cards. You thumb off the top 3 cards. Now you ask them, hey, is there any particular reason why you stopped on those cards? while they're doing this, you're doing a little bit of a sneaky thing. If your cards have a natural bend, you can let that bend fall, and you should be able to establish a natural break underneath those cards that are face up. However, these cards, because apparently they're aged more than... So what you do is you say any particular reason why you stopped on these cards and not any of these. You're riffling up the back till you see, that's right, the first back-to-back cards, and you stick your little pinky there in preparation for the next move. Whatever answer you say, well, that's particularly great because you happen to have stopped on these 3 aces. Notice what I'm doing. I'm turning them over, putting them on top to cover the little break, and putting them and showing that they in fact managed to stop on the 3 aces. That's crazy.
Jack, this is crazy.
That's, of course, that's kind of that's the first kind of punch to the gunt that they have here. You go, now here's the crazy part. You manage to stop on the 3 aces here, which means, and you say right as you say, which means you do a block turnover here. So you're turning over all these cards in this particular fashion, putting the supposed aces back on the table. However, they're the kings. You do your little switcheroo, and you say now, and you cough. Sorry, it's the cancer. So as you turn the kings down on the table, they think these are the aces. You go, if these are the aces, that means that the prediction card is also an ace. And when you turn over and show that it's a king, it should be a little bit of a goof there on your part. It's a little bit of a gag. So while this is happening, you're getting a pinky break right here underneath the second card in preparation for a paintbrush change that you're going to do right now. So they turn over this card. You show, oh, it's a king. That's perplexing. Is the name of the trick. So it's a king. You put that on top and you go, oh, that's fine. I could just change this to this ace and thus give a good conclusion to this trick. So all I do is that I pick up all 3 cards, thumb off the king. This is, of course, a double. You put this on top in preparation for the paintbrush change. So what's happening here is that you're just going to square the cards up and you just bring back just the top card, and it looks like it changed. You see what that happens? You push it up, push it down, and it changed. Let me get some slow motion on that, some of that Swahili slow motion. And it looks like it changes. Then you turn over this card, show that it's an X card, put this in the middle of the deck, and you're ready to do a double lift here. So you're going to say, see, now the trick it has reached a successful conclusion because these cards match the aces. The ace that you turn them over and they happen to be kings because they changed again. They're like, what's going on? And you go, that's okay. I could just turn that into king as well. And that concludes this mystery. So you have like 7 color changes take place in a span of about 2 minutes, and their brains just can't handle it. They're like, wait, what's going on? I don't understand. So practice that trick well. It's kind of a fun trick to practice, and you should definitely be able to get some action tonight with this trick. I know that there's a lot of tricks that I say, oh, you know, this trick might give you some. This one is definitely one of those that gives you some of that. So practice it. Make sure to share, subscribe, like. There you go. Hope you guys enjoyed that. I'm gonna go watch a 4-year-old take a drag out of a cigarette made from the ashes of his grandfather.
Again, when I see you 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 again.